Welcome to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. Well, we got our lethargic LeSabre in the shop, and besides the mud daubers and all the leaves under the hood, well, it looks pretty good, Dave.
This thing looks fantastic. Problem is, it's just been sitting for a long time, so it won't start.
Yeah, and what do you do when a car's sitting for a long time and it doesn't start? Well, obviously you change all the fluids, but the first thing is to get it to start. So spark, fuel, and compression. That's just the basics right there. Why don't you take us through spark?
You got it. Well, you need spark to ignite the fuel. So we're going to test it to see what kind of spark we're getting here. I'm going to pull off a spark plug wire. Now I've got a spark tester from our friends at RockAuto.com. And we will just plug that tester into the spark plug wire. And I'm going to clip it here. We're going to fire it up in there. Josh, go ahead and crank it. We'll see if we get any spark. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, we're getting spark, so that means we've got a fuel problem.
Yeah, absolutely got a fuel problem. We can test that as well. We got a fuel tester from RockAuto.com, and GM's kind enough to give us a Schrader valve right up here.
Yeah, it's convenient.
Gotta love these 3800s. I'm gonna go ahead and connect this, and this is basically just going to tell us if we have fuel pressure up here. Doesn't mean that the fuel pump's working or not working, but we can see. Josh, how about give me one more shot at it? Awesome. Yeah, we have nothing. We have no fuel pressure up there. Now, we don't know if it's voltage. We don't know what's going on with the pump, but here's an old school method as well. This is pretty cool. A lot of guys can just take carburetor cleaners. Maybe you don't have a fancy tools like this. Use it as an artificial fuel source. I'll spray a little bit in here, not a whole lot, and we're going to see if it wants to try to run or sputter. Go ahead, one more time. Whoa, there you have it.
Yeah.
So we're definitely down to fuel, no doubt about it.
Yep, you got it. Well, I'm going to go take a look at the service manual, see what I can find out about this car.
Well, while you do that, check out this graphic because it's Fuel Systems 101. Well, it all starts there at the fuel tank. You can see it down there. You may have a pump inline, or it could be submerged down in the fuel down there. Then it goes to the actual inline filter. That's going to be the high pressure side coming out of the fuel tank. Then you see it go through the T, that's the supply line to the fuel rails, through the fuel rails, and then usually exits out by a fuel pulse dampener or a fuel pressure regulator. Either way, you can see the injectors are connected there to the fuel rail, and then everything that's not used is returned back to the tank on the return line. You can actually see the fuel pump located right down there in the actual tank. And what the fuel pump's going to do, it's going to come up here, that's the pressure line you just saw, and it's going to feed these fuel rails, both of these fuel rails. Now, the fuel is going to run through these fuel rails, and it's going to go through the injectors at a given time when the computer decides to pulse it and put it in there. But a cool part is, on the exit here is a fuel pressure regulator. Now, what does that do? Exactly what I just said. It regulates fuel pressure. A vacuum source is connected to the fuel pressure regulator. And think about it. If you're idling, you have a massive amount of vacuum. That's going to hold that open. It's going to allow most of the fuel to return to the tank. Now, wide open throttle, there's not much vacuum. It's closed. And when it's closed, it backs up fuel pressure, and it gives you the fuel you need when you want it at wide open throttle. Then it all returns back to the tank. Well, I can actually show it to you in action here. When I turn the key on, you can hear the fuel pump run. Now it runs for 5 seconds and shuts off, primes the system. Now my computer is going to actually tell the injectors when I start it up, when to run and how long to run those injectors. And there we go, fuel system in action. Well, we're idling along right now, but it's soon to be wide open throttle when we return with more Tech Garage presented by RockAuto.com.